Good morning, dear students. Hope you all are good and safe. I welcome you for the second session in biology. In the previous session, you have studied about the basic concepts of biology and what are the chapters you have studied in class 8th and what are the chapters you'll be studying in class 9th. Today, we are going to the first chapter in biology, that is fundamental unit of life, that is cell. So let us have an overview of the chapter. So we'll be studying about the introduction part, discovery and history, unicellular and multicellular, prokaryotes and eukaryotes, structure of the cell wall, cell membrane, nucleus and cell organelles, plant cell and animal cell. First, we'll go for the introduction. There are innumerable variety of organisms which live on our planet Earth. All these organisms look so different, and all these organisms are made from tiny microscopic unit called cell. Now the question arises, why all organisms have cell? The answer is, all living organisms perform various metabolic reactions which is required to have a balanced environment to sustain life. Cell acts as an living compartment, a life supporting compartment which maintains its chemical composition within its boundary in a steady state so that various activities can be performed in a desirable manner. Hence, today we are going to a different world which cannot be seen through our naked eye. We do require a special instrument, that is microscope. Yes. So it is cell. The cell is a fundamental structural functional unit of living organism and it's a basic unit of life. All the basic functions like respiration, excretion, reproduction are carried out by cell and we do have a different cell organelles to perform all this function. The study of cell is known as cell biology or cytology. We'll go with the discovery and history of cell. The word cell was introduced by Robert Hooke in 1665 in his book Micrographia. He observed a thin slice of cork under his primitive microscope. The cork is a substance obtained from the bark of the tree. He was surprised to see that cork was resembling to the structure of honeycomb. Yes, he named it as cellulae. In Latin, cellulae means little room, a small room. Actually, what he observed was a dead cells. It was only the cell wall because it has lost all its living substances. Even though this discovery was simple and insignificant, but it has a tremendous importance in the discovery of history of biological science because this is the first observation which let us know that all living organisms are made up of cell. Next, it was Antony Van Leeuwenhoek who saw small creatures in the pond water. He took a small drop of pond water and he observed through his homemade microscope. He saw some organisms moving. So what he saw was a free living organism and he named it as animalcules. So what he saw was bacteria, protozoa, RBC and sperm cells. Later, it was in 1831 that Robert Brown discovered the nucleus in plant cell. Purkinje noted a semi-fluid substances. It's a living material and he named it as protoplasm. So he saw in plant cell and it is Haeckel. He reported the nucleus which stores and transmits the hereditary information. So all this discovery was done after when a microscope was invented, so there is a hierarchy. So as soon as you get a modern tools and techniques, so all this was discovered from 19th century. So later it was two biologists. So one botanist, that is Schleiden, and zoologist Schwann. So they do so in their respective plants and animal cells are also composed of cells. So this formed a basis to for the cell theory. So then later the cell theory was expanded by Rudolf Virchow. So he gave the phrase omnis Cellular E cellular means all cells arises from pre-existing cells. So here is a cell theory for you. All living organisms are composed of cells or the cell products. So all living organisms arise from pre-existing cells. All cells are basically alike in their chemical composition and metabolic process. Coming to shape of the cell. The shape of the cells is related to specific function. There are many shapes. Coming to amoeba and WBC, that is white blood cells, they keep changing their shapes. In some cases, the cell shape is more or less fixed. Some are so peculiar. You can see it's an extended, elongated form in case of nerve cells. In case of muscle cells, it's a spindle shaped. Some are star shaped, some are cuboidal, some are columnar. So we do have n number of shapes, but that will specify some particular function. Coming to cell size, the size of the cell also varies considerably in different animals and plants. The average ranges from zero point 0.5 to 20 microns. In human body, the smallest cell is RBC and the longest one is the nerve cell. Here's the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. In prokaryotes, the size of the cell is very much small. It is 1 to 10 micrometer. Nucleus is absent. Nucleolus is also absent. It contains a single chromosome suspended inside the organism, which is called nucleoid. Membrane bound organelles are also absent. Cell division takes place by means of fission and budding. Whereas eukaryote, the size is very much larger. It can ranges from 10 to 100 micrometer. Nucleus is present. It contains more than one chromosome. Nucleolus is present. Membrane bound cell organelles are present. Cell division takes place by means of mitotic and meiotic division. Let us go with the difference of unicellular and multicellular. In unicellular, the body is composed of single cell, prokaryotic in nature. They do undergo asexual reproduction. Single cell performs all the activities. Any injury to the cell organism may die. Example is amoeba. Multicellular, the body of an organism is composed of numerous cells, eukaryotic in nature. They do reproduce by sexual means, and different cells are there to perform different functions. Any injury to the cells, organism will not die. So humans are an example for multicellular. Here is an assignment for you. You have to draw a neat label diagram of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. You do have 8 standard text. So draw prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Thank you. We'll have a wonderful discussion about the cell wall, cell membrane in detail with all those functions in the next session. Thank you all.